Yo, what's up YouTube? I'm back today with another video, and I think this one could be a good one for a lot of you SPTS fans like me out there who are looking for the best one to play as of right now and looking into the future, because there's a lot and they come and go and it's hard to see into the future about which one's gonna do actually well. So what we're gonna do is we're going to look into all the popular SPTS games and I'm gonna rank them. I'm gonna have 3 categories. And turn it down. Alright, so we're going to talk about first that it does currently bring in the most players of every SPTS game. Like if you're looking for a like vanilla SPTS, I guess I'll call it, as opposed to something like Superpower Fighting Simulator, which is a training game but a bit more inspired rather than spin-off, you know what I mean? So this one usually has between 300 and 500 players. Sometimes it can go into the 200s, but it's pretty stable. So in terms of that, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 for player count. Now let's look around the game real quick. So as you can see, I have a few stats. Obviously I'm not a pro at the game or anything, but I also haven't AFK'd it or anything since probably 2023. So as we can see, the game is not that inflated, with the top player not even having SX, and this is a game that is 7 years old now. Almost exactly. And if we look around, this is a pretty full server, but we can't actually see many active players, which is why I didn't give it a 10 out of 10 for player count, is because even though it does bring in the most for an SPTS game, the players in servers aren't typically that active, and if they are, there's a lot of, like, obviously English isn't the be-all end-all language, but there's a lot of non-English speakers in the chat in a lot of servers. This one seems to be pretty English-based, but you know, as most SPTS fans are usually English speakers, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that could be a turn-off for some people. And then, as we could see earlier, when I tried to turn off the background music over here, it did not work. So that leads me to my other point, that the game is quite broken nowadays. It actually doesn't exhibit a lot of lag, like compared to modded when the servers haven't been restarted in a while. It's a pretty lag-free game. I'm not sure what we're dealing with right now. 93, 83, 100 ping, that's pretty average for my connection, and there's a storm outside right now, so this is a pretty lag-free game. The graphics are very archaic looking. The auras are good, and the core, like the fundamental gameplay features of the game are intact, but there's a lot of bugs that you can notice, mostly related to sound, so like you can hear everyone else's sounds when they upgrade their multipliers and stuff. So for the overall SPTS experience, I'm gonna say that this is more of a 5 out of 10. I mean, you can train in AFK, but the only purchasable, I don't even know if VIP works anymore, but if it does, that's okay. But like, you can only purchase tokens, and they don't scale with your rank or anything, they only scale with VIP. And this amount of tokens here, so let's say I have VIP, buying 60,000 tokens costs quite a bunch of Robux, and my psychic multiplier costs 100k, so after spending 5k Robux with VIP, I still wouldn't be able to upgrade a multiplier. So core fundamentals, overall SPTS experience, I'd give it between a 5 and a 6, you know. It works, and if you're a nostalgic person like me, then this is definitely an option. And the last category is the longevity of the game and looking forward into the future, because I know a lot of people don't want to invest time in it if it's just gonna, you know, die out. And here's my take on the game. It's that it's a 7-year-old game, and if I look at the player count history, it actually hasn't, in the last 365 days, meaning like the last year, not just 2025, it actually has not gone down that much. It's been stable between 300 and 500 for the last year, I'd say. But that being said, it doesn't receive any support unless someone actually buys it, which I think was proposed by us, or by Sath, but I don't think that's gonna happen because his price was pretty ridiculous, I heard. So doesn't get any support from the devs, and that means the player count will inevitably go down and it'll just become sort of a nostalgic game on Roblox. But I have been playing the game on and off for the last 3 years, and I can say that it has not died out that badly. So it's not like you have to worry about it next month being obsolete. You're fine. I don't know why I can't kill this guy over here. Oh, looks like I did. Okay. So yeah, I would say, if you're looking to grind an SPTS game, this is definitely in the top 3 options. So don't not consider it just because it's old and a little bit buggy. Yeah, and by the way, in the description, I will put all my final rankings for all the categories so that you don't have to watch back the video a bunch of times and you can see overall which one works best for you. So that's SPTS Classic. As you can see, the player count's actually pretty good right now, 346. And the rating is actually higher than Modded, for example, at 74. It's not bad. Okay, so next we'll be going into I consider it a more recent one, Return of the Reaper Modded. And the original Return of the Reaper was pretty good, I liked it. So, but it's now dead. Which I guess we'll talk about, that means longevity first. So for this game, I personally, if you are very conscious about this game being obsolete in a matter of months, I would be worried about that for this game. Generally when I see a bunch of sequels made by the same developer, it means that they aren't really devoted to any one game for a long period of time. So this game I could see dying in the next 6 months, but I'm no future reader, you know, I'm not a oracle. But if that's a concern for you, this should be so far lower on your list. We've only gone over 2, so don't knock it yet. So we join in here and we can immediately see that there's new auras happening. There's a title above my head. I've never seen this before. Gandalf the Grey. Interesting. So it looks like a new NPC. We'll actually talk to him. Perhaps I can. Yeah, what are you talking about? Interesting. Okay, so we can make potions. So this is sort of like this game's take on like Modded's boosts, I guess they say. Stuff like that. So now that longevity's aside, I'm gonna give that like probably I don't know, I'll say 5 out of 10 for longevity, because although I can't see this happening, it could very well last for a year or even more. Oh goodness, okay. So next we're gonna look at the core SPTS experience. So obviously there's a whole new NPC here with a whole new gameplay aspect. So if you're looking for like a basic SPTS grind, but also with added features so it's not boring, I feel like this is a really good candidate for all you fans who are like that. So as you can see, we also have races we can roll for. So race reroll. And the public servers are a bit laggy, so if lag is a concern, private servers are free, don't worry. We have a race index here, so this is an RNG bit of the game, and the races influence your tokens per minute. So lots of new features in this game. Squads even already work. I'm not sure what they do for you because obviously I'm not that rich, but squads work. There's a shop for you to buy game passes, and the game passes are quite cheap for Robux and also universal coins. They're not that expensive. There aren't any new skills, so if you like new skills like Modded and a few other games have, I don't really see new skills being added since the original game didn't have them either. But as you can also see, I forgot about this actually, there's codes in the game, so that can help new players a lot. Codes are a pretty attractive feature to a lot of people. The game is very easy to progress in. As you can see, like I think I don't even have an hour on this game and I'm already in SP, so that's quite beneficial to a lot of people who like fast progression. The training zones are okay, and it's pretty inflated, but the training zones are okay, but this is just the rock with some aura around it. Over here I saw like a really powerful psychic zone that was literally just a grave. It looks like it was made in 2008. So like, lack of consistency, yes, but as you can see, like there's plenty of new features in the game. So I'm gonna give this game, for SPTS experience, this has to be an 8. other than the lag, it's quite like full. The lag and the inconsistent training zone progression sort of docks it the last 2 points, but the rest of the game is actually quite like a pristine SPTS experience. I would highly recommend. Other than I keep on telling SPTS devs they should update the lighting and the graphics because it looks very old. And if they're trying to appeal to not just nostalgic players but also new players, that might be a problem. But you know, other than that, I'd say this is a very good SPTS game. So now we have the overall SPTS experience covered and the longevity. Whether you should play it, which I guess is my first category that I named. I think it was like current players or something, like current success of the game. Like it popped up very quick. It looks like actually decently high effort because lots of new NPCs to explore. You can usually judge the effort by the amount of lag in the game, which this has quite a bit, but you never know, they might fix that. So yeah, current SPTS experience, current players, current success, current achievements, I would recommend, yeah. It's pretty popular. I think it's like the second or third most popular SPTS right now. So for the time being, you don't have to worry about it being dead. As you can see, I just died, which means the servers are pretty active. And yeah, so that should be it for Return of the Reaper Modded. Let's hop into the next one. And just for anyone tuning in, anyone who just stopped zoning out, my bad. I will be putting all the rankings in the description for each category. Okay, so next on our list, I'm going to do Superpower Fighting Simulator, which I mentioned earlier. If you like SPTS, like for the type of game it is, this one probably at the bottom of your list because it's quite different. If I ever load in, that is. It is more of an inspiration of SPTS than a remake. As you can see instantly, a completely different style. This game's old as well. I think it came out a year or two after original SPTS. There is plenty to do in this game, as well as it's not nearly as pay to win as most SPTS remakes, which I should have mentioned for the last two games that I've just done. So SPTS Classic is not pay to win at all in my opinion, because it costs a ton of money to even get anywhere if you're pay to win. Not to mention, if you're not pay to win, it's not going to get you anywhere to spend like 1,000 Robux anyway. So I would say it's not pay to win at all. The last game I was in, Return of the Reaper Modded, also very not pay to win. Like, all the game passes can be bought with in-game obtainable currency, and even if you have Robux, they're really cheap. So yeah, there's not much pay to win in either of the games that I've just reviewed. So this one, as you can see, like, everything is quite different. There's islands over here with training zones. The auras are based on rank rather than power, which I personally don't like, and I didn't like when this game was new as well. And it's taking a long time for everything to load. There are quests in the game, as usual, and there's lots of places to go. So like, there's a whole space dimension too, which I kind of forget how to get to. Yeah, I'm really not sure how to get to the space island anymore. As for inflation, NVG, OCVG, yeah, it's pretty inflated. Tokens, billions of tokens. So yeah, like, the game works completely differently, because in any other SPTS, billions of tokens would not get you anywhere near this far. So the game, it's a completely different game. Very fun though. Like, the grind feels pretty good. Like, yeah. So in terms of current SPTS status and achievements, that sort of thing, I would say this one ranks up a bit higher. Like, I'm gonna go 7, because for SPTS fans, this one might not be actually that appealing since it's so different. But if you put the difference aside, it's actually quite a fun game to play. So I'm gonna give it a 7 for that. As for longevity, this game actually does still receive occasional updates. Like, and the events are good, like Halloween, winter, like those sort of events, they are good, but it doesn't receive regular content updates anymore. So between events, the player count can dwindle, but it usually stays pretty stable between 200 and 400, I'd say. A little less popular than SPTS Classic unless there's an event. So for longevity, I don't think you should be too concerned. I would give it another year, personally, before it really starts to collapse, like below the hundreds. Unless he really does go all out, like continues with the events all out. Because the events sort of carry the player count. Without the events, it would sort of dwindle out, I guess. Also for lag, which is what I was just flying back and forth for, you can see that the quality of these meshes, they decrease as you fly further away, which means the game is very well optimized. I'm on 100 ping, but as you can see, like, everything is still pretty instant. My fireball shoots 2 at once, so don't worry, it's not lagging. Yeah, like, everything feels very snappy in the game despite being on 300 ping, and lag is not a concern. If lag is one of your biggest, I don't know, something you hate a lot in SPTS games, don't worry about it here. So we talked about the longevity, the current SPTS, and what was even my last one? I forget. Longevity, current. Yo, I don't remember. We have 3 categories. Current, longevity. Oh, and the overall SPTS experience, which, did I go over all 3 already? Oh yeah, you can really see the polygon count lowers for like the whole map when you fly further away. That's really good. Okay, so I'll put the ranking, all 3 rankings in the description, but I can't really remember what I've done so far. So if you're looking for a pristine SPTS experience, this is lower down. It's obviously way different. If you're looking for the longevity, it has a pretty good future. Probably arguably less stable than SPTS Classic, but like almost the same, I'd say. And it does still receive some updates, so that's a bonus for you. And yeah, its achievement right now, like how it's doing right now, still pretty active, surprisingly. So all around good option if you can accept the differences. Sorry that one took a little longer and it was less organized. I obviously don't make scripts for my videos, which I probably should. But anyway, next we'll be going on to SPTS Modded. And this is a real subject of discussion because it's quite the controversial one, and I'll try to see everything from a neutral perspective. I'll cover the goods and the bads as opposed to just hating on it or glazing it. I play basically every SPTS game on Roblox, on and off, so I like to think I have a pretty good eye on things, but you tell me. So already I can see I'm on 4,000 ping. Not great, obviously. That's a 4-second delay between me and the server. That's why it's taking me so long to spawn in. So if lag's a concern, when the servers have recently been restarted, they're good. Neptid's fixed a lot of the lag, but when the servers are old, there's still quite a bit showing. So we're gonna go into inflation now. And also, I think I'm not going to rank in the video anymore from this point on, each category, as opposed to just describe, like, cover basically everything there is to know about the game, should you play it, and then in the description I'll still put all the rankings so that you can get a quick summary of everything, because this video probably will be pretty long, so if you don't want to watch the whole thing, just go to the description. So inflation, this game's not that bad. It's in VG, which NOD, I think it's OCD, SPD, yeah, so it's not that inflated, doing pretty well, VG. TPM, not crazy inflated, though one thing I will mention is that if you don't spend Robux on this game, the only leaderboard you have a shot at is this one, basically. Like, obviously you can get to the bottom of, like, movement speed, jump force, maybe psychic, like maybe the very bottom if you're a really dedicated free-to-play, but Robux it has such a huge part in this game. Like, look, you can spend 20k Robux and get a trillion TPM, which obviously every minute at my super high rank I only gain 1,000,000 TPM, so you would never even have a shot at a trillion if you're just playing the game. I mean, there's other ways too, like Ghost Rider over here, and the boosts are a nice touch too. you get these H tokens every minute, and you can spend them on these upgrades and boosts and stuff, so that helps. But if you're a free-to-play SPTS player, I will put this one at the bottom of your list so far, because all 3 other games that we talked about so far are very free-to-play friendly, and I'd put this one at the bottom. As for the experience though, like, this is probably the most refined and customized but still vanilla experience, because obviously we have the original skills up here, but a whole bunch more to explore as well. Clans are coming soon, but like, look at there's so many game passes you can buy, even more game passes you can buy. So I would say it's still a very vanilla experience, but with a lot of customization and a lot of pay to win. Which, you know, I get it. In a niche genre of game, you kind of have to monetize the crap out of your game if you don't have a high player count, because if you want to develop for a long amount of time, the Robux has to be worth it, you know? So, I mean, I get it, but in this kind of game, it just kind of makes the grind feel worthless, since, like, I've spent quite a bit of Robux on this game for my standards, and where am I on here? Like, 63rd, yeah. So I think I've probably spent, I don't know, between 20 and 30,000 Robux on the game, which is an unobtainable amount of Robux for people who like actually buy their Robux from like Walmart or something. That would cost a lot of money, and I'm still only 63rd on the TPM leaderboard, so that's kind of crazy. But we're gonna put the pay to win aside for now, because other than that, it is quite the game. Like, it's basically a fixed version of SPTS Classic with some features from Endless, like new skills, aura selecting, and like just a whole bunch of refinements and customizations made to the game. The zones look good. I do have the complaint though that, like, in SPTS Classic, the zones at least somewhat made sense. Like, you train in a tornado for body toughness, but why is there a green space meteor in the middle of the like ocean, like 400 yards from mainland? That never made sense to me, but all SPTS games do that now, so it's not really a topic of judgment. The player count goes down pretty quick because this game is mostly hype driven. Like, in update drops, the player count spikes to like 500, 600, and then a week later it's back down to 200 because the update gets stale. You go through the new zones and kill a few noobs, and then it gets a bit boring. But when you're someone who's dedicated to the grind and will just grind the game for the sake of getting better, that's not really a bother. And although Neptid isn't frequent with updates, he has been doing this now for like, he'll be going on, I think Modded is going to be going on its 3rd year as of this winter, like this coming winter, so like probably winter 2026, it'll be going on its 3rd year. So it's not like the game will be abandoned anytime soon. It's one of the biggest players in SPTS right now, so you don't have to worry about that. You just have to worry mostly about the pay to win in the game. But other than that, this is probably one of the most perfect SPTSs you can play if you were a big SPTS Classic fan. So yeah, that's what I have to say about this game. Robux aside, it's almost perfect for an SPTS, in my opinion. And the player count doesn't have any hopes of completely dying, and Neptid probably doesn't have any thoughts of abandoning the game. So SPTS Origin is what we'll be doing next. So Endless and Origin, in my opinion, Endless was a mistake to release, because Endless was a game in itself. Origin was released like before Endless, but then all of the content from Endless was released to Origin in an update, except just with like the map from Origin was still Classic's map, and some of the zones were different. And there's a few differences, but like basically Endless was just copied over into Origin with a few differences, and then Endless was made pointless, and then also kind of Origin was made pointless. But yeah, there's differences, but Origin stayed a bit more popular to this day, averaging around 100 players per day, like concurrent players per day, because it's closer to the SPTS Classic experience, but just no bugs. One thing I will say is that this is a genuine SATH game, which means Robux. So basically the free-to-play SPTS games have already been reviewed. If you're a free-to-play player, you can just leave the video now if you want, because there's not going to be any options for you coming up, probably. I mean, like, unless you like competing against Robux spenders, but a lot of people don't. 103 active, not terrible, and it's very steady. Like, it usually goes between 60 and 140 every single day. Completely dying, you don't have to worry about it. Dying in the next year, like going down, yeah, it'll probably happen. But it's doing well so far, and it has been for the last year, so that's usually how I look into the future, is how has it been doing for the last year, and will it continue this for the next year? So, as you can see, we are on 40,000 milliseconds of ping, which is way worse than modded. I don't know why that... Okay, let's calm down. I don't know why that's like that. I don't remember this game being laggy. As you can see, it has the archaic graphics, but new zones, and there's a guy training over here. The auras in this game are, like, elite tier. Like, they clear modded's auras any day, in my opinion. I wish I could find, like, a better example of one. Maybe over here. Maybe this guy has aura on and he actually has a cool aura. Yeah, he does. Okay, well, sort of. This is, like, not a great example, but it's okay. And, but just know that the auras in this game are just super good, especially Endless. I think Endless has the really good ones, if they're not the same, but, so yeah, as you can see, the TPM system, like I mentioned, it's... Oh, never mind. In this game, it actually is you straight up buy TPM. Okay, so never mind. It's not that good. There is an SPTS game, though, where you buy tokens based on your TPM. Let's go see inflation now. So TD, that's not that high, but it's way higher than Classic, obviously. What's this guy think he's doing? Oh, it's because I'm actually not that strong in this game. I forgot. Okay. So I've already talked sort of about what the game's all about. There's a lot of zones to explore. A few new skills, actually. I did not know how many new skills there were in Origin. I knew there was a lot in Endless, but I guess since Endless was just published to this game, basically, it's a pretty well-rounded SPTS experience. I'd say if you're willing to play this game, though, you may as well play Modded, because it has basically all the same to offer and then some, other than this game has cooler auras. So this is a pretty easy one. It'll probably score similar to Modded, but just a bit lower. Because this game also does not receive updates. I don't know what's happening in the chat. Yeah, so it's alright. I'm actually not even gonna do Endless, because Endless is pretty easy to find on YouTube. If you just search up SPTS Endless, you can find it there. And Origin's almost the same as Endless. Last but not least, SPTS Unleashed. I promise I'll have this video cleaned up at least a little bit post-editing, though I guess when you're seeing this, it'll already be edited, and you might still think it's a trash video. But a like and subscribe helps me a ton, guys. You don't even know, because as a small developer and small YouTuber, like, any little bit, like, any step forward, just, like, it makes my day, basically. Seeing my subscribers go up by 5 is really cool to see, for example. And the link to my own SPTS game will be in the description, because in my opinion, it's another good option. It's just not an option for people who don't like low player counts, which is why it doesn't have a higher player count, ironically. So that'll be in the description, and the last video in this, or the last game in this video will be my game, but it won't participate in the ranking because I'm biased. It'll just be, I can show it to y'all again. So if we ever load into SPTS Unleashed here, it looks like we got the notification up here, though blurred, that I joined my friend. So we should get in soon. As far, like, I actually don't think I've played this SPTS. I think if I have played it, I only played it for like a second. Oh man, what is happening? This is interesting. So already I can see it has the SPTS Endless map. So whoever made this game does have access to the leaked SPTS Endless game effects file. Yeah, it has. Is this basically just Endless but like updated? Like, oh man. I don't think I've ever played this one. And looks like there's no safe zone because did I just die? I'm not sure. I really have no idea what's happening. Are these northern lights up here? This is interesting, actually. The player count on this one's lower. It's usually between 30 and 100 every day. So if low player count is something you don't like, I would not consider this one, because also I don't see this one lasting any longer. It's been around for a while, and also it hasn't really been successful for its whole like life. Basically, it's always been a little bit lower in the player count, which I'm not saying it deserves that. I'm just saying that probably it will never get more popular. This is interesting though. Like, there's a lot of things added to this game, like remove your force field. Sort of reminds me of Blocks Fruits. It's got the show current and show next area. These arrows are nice though, actually. Show next. Oh yeah, these are really nice. So they've definitely redone the visuals. It has SPTS modded auras, as you can see from this guy. The sky effects are really confusing. Like, they clutter up the game a lot. Though it looks like you can turn them off. Northern lights are on. There's a lot of random things over here. So if you like random features that aren't necessarily laid out to, like, these aren't really organized well that they make sense to new players, because I have no idea what's going on. I really can't review this game. I would say if you're looking for a new experience, or a different one, try it out. Oh yeah, Battle Pass. Okay, this is weird actually. Yeah, there's V-Bucks in it though, so it's weird. It has a lower player count, but it is unique. So, you know, if you want to try something new, you're bored of all the other SPTS games, definitely an option. I'll rank this one in the description. Just know that I have not really played it, so don't go completely off what I say. Obviously, join all these for yourself if you're interested, because, like, don't just take my word for it, but I'm just trying to give you a reference, because if you're an SPTS fan in this stage in the game, it can be very hard to figure out which one's actually worth playing. So obviously this video helps, but if you're just looking for which one's the best, you can go into the description, look at all the rankings, see what you prioritize, and join into one yourself.